Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we journey deep into the tale of a coin so common to the everyday lives of millions in the United Kingdom, and yet, when examined more closely, reveals a hidden legacy of history, artistry, and collectors' fascination. The coin in question is the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 2005. At first glance, it may seem like just another copper-plated steel coin that jingled in pockets, rested in purses, or slid into vending machines. But as you'll soon discover, this coin is far more than a simple penny. It is a tiny masterpiece with roots that go back centuries, a piece of numismatic art that continues to astonish collectors with its rarity, significance, and eventual staggering value. To appreciate the magic of the 2005 1 penny, we must step back into the story of Britain's coinage system. For centuries, the penny has been the foundation of British currency, dating back to the silver pennies of Anglo-Saxon kings, when a single coin could represent significant value in daily life. Over the centuries, the penny evolved, surviving monarchs, wars, and reforms. By the 20th century, the penny had become a coin of everyday exchange, but also a coin that reflected the grandeur and continuity of Britain's monarchy. The decimalization of British currency in 1971 changed the penny forever, bringing with it new designs, new alloys, and a renewed place in the modern pocket. The 2005 Elizabeth II 1 penny stands as part of this modern legacy. The coin itself is made of copper-plated steel, a change introduced in 1992 to replace the original bronze alloy. This material shift, though subtle to the average spender, marked a turning point in the production of pennies. Steel, cheaper and more practical, became the heart of the coin, with a thin copper plating giving it that familiar reddish shine. The 2005 penny carried all of this practicality, but it also bore the symbols of tradition that the Royal Mint carefully preserved. On the obverse of the coin, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II gazes outward, a depiction crafted by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1998, became one of the most recognizable images of the Queen during the later years of her reign. Unlike earlier portraits, Rank Broadley chose to represent Elizabeth II with realism, embracing her age with dignity and poise. The diadem rests upon her head, and the expression is one of quiet authority, a monarch who had seen decades of history unfold. The inscription reads, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD. Meaning, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription connects the modern coinage to centuries of tradition, reminding us that each penny carries the weight of monarchy and history. Turning the coin over, the reverse design of the 2005 penny reveals Christopher Ironside's iconic crown portcullis. The portcullis, a symbol long associated with the Palace of Westminster, represents the British Parliament and the seat of democratic governance. It is not just a decorative gate, but a powerful emblem of authority, strength, and continuity. Atop the portcullis rests a regal crown, reinforcing the connection between monarchy and government, tradition and modernity. Around the edge, the simple inscription reads, 1 penny, with the denomination, 1, placed prominently, leaving no doubt as to the coin's identity. This reverse design, first introduced in 1971 and continuing into 2005, remains one of the most celebrated motifs in modern British numismatics. The 2005 penny was minted in large numbers, entering circulation by the millions. Yet, as is often the case in coin collecting, not every coin is created equal. Variations, minting errors, and condition play crucial roles in determining rarity and value. Some 2005 pennies escaped the mint with subtle die errors, misstrikes, or alignment issues, transforming what should have been a common coin into an object of fascination for collectors. Even without such errors, high-grade examples of the 2005 penny, especially those preserved in mint condition or proof sets, carry immense appeal. Collectors are drawn not just to the coin's face value, but to its connection to Elizabeth II, the artistry of its design, and the history it represents. The Royal Mint also produced proof versions of the 2005 penny, meticulously struck with polished dies that bring out the details in stunning clarity. These proof coins, intended for collectors, shine with mirror-like brilliance and flawless surfaces. They serve as a reminder that even the smallest denomination in the British currency system is treated with the same care and artistry as the grandest gold sovereigns. What makes the 2005 penny especially intriguing in today's market is the way it bridges the gap between common and rare. On one hand, it was a coin used by millions, passed from hand to hand in shops and cafes. On the other, certain examples, whether through rarity, condition, or collector demand, have become highly sought-after treasures. Collectors see in this coin a symbol of stability, the image of a monarch whose reign became the longest in British history, and a design that connects Britain's modern currency to its medieval traditions. As the years have passed, the 2005 penny has grown in stature among numismatists. The fascination lies not just in its metallic composition, but in its story. Each coin is a snapshot of 2005, a year in which Elizabeth II was firmly established as the enduring figurehead of the United Kingdom, a year when Britain continued to balance its ancient traditions with the modern world. To hold a 2005 penny is to hold a moment in history, a fragment of daily life that has since become a collectible wonder. Imagine for a moment that you stumble upon one of these pennies tucked away in a drawer or hidden among change. To most, it would appear ordinary. But to the trained eye of a collector, its details, its condition, and its story reveals something priceless. The copper shine, the regal portrait, the portcullis crowned with authority, all of these elements transform it into more than currency. It becomes a miniature work of art, a time capsule, and a treasure. The numismatic market is filled with surprises, and in recent years, the value of coins like the 2005 penny has astonished collectors and historians alike. While most examples may fetch modest sums, rare versions and pristine proof strikes have reached staggering valuations. The combination of historical significance, rarity, and collector demand has pushed this seemingly ordinary penny into the realm of the extraordinary. Top 2. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 1998. At first glance, it looks ordinary, just a small copper-plated steel disc that most people would have passed across a shop counter without a second thought. Yet for those who understand the deeper history, for collectors who can read the signs etched into its face, this coin tells a story that is anything but ordinary. It is a story of tradition, design, rarity, and the strange way in which value can transform something so common into an object of almost unimaginable worth. To understand the importance of the 1998 1 penny, we have to step back in time and look at the history of British coinage itself. The penny is one of the oldest denominations in British history, with roots stretching all the way back to Anglo-Saxon times. For centuries, the penny was silver, a coin of real purchasing power, enough to buy food or goods of value. Over time, as empires rose and fell, as England became Britain and Britain became a global power, the penny evolved. By the 20th century, it was no longer silver, no longer a coin of significant value in daily life, but a small token of copper or bronze that most people barely noticed. And yet, even in its modest form, it carried the image of monarchs, from Queen Victoria to King George VI, and then to Queen Elizabeth I. By 1998, Queen Elizabeth II had already reigned for nearly half a century. Her image was instantly recognizable across the world, not only on banknotes and coins but also as a symbol of continuity in a rapidly changing time. The late 1990s were years of transformation for the United Kingdom. The country was entering a new political era with Tony Blair's government. Technology was reshaping lives, and globalization was altering economies. But amidst all that change, the humble penny remained in people's pockets, familiar, unchanged in purpose, though quietly shifting in composition and design. The 1998 1 penny features on its obverse the famous portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Raphael Makhlouf, the third definitive coinage portrait of her long reign. Makhlouf's portrait, introduced in 1985, presented the Queen wearing the royal diadem, the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with a calm and dignified expression. It was a portrait meant to capture both Her Majesty and her humanity, to blend tradition with a timeless look. Collectors often note how this portrait gave Elizabeth II a youthful elegance, even as the years passed, and it became one of the most beloved depictions of her on coinage. On the reverse, the design was one of tradition and symbolism. The coin carries Christopher Ironside's crown portcullis design, a stylized version of the gate from the Palace of Westminster, surmounted by a crown. The portcullis has long been a symbol of Parliament and government, linking the penny to Britain's institutions of democracy and rule. It is a simple yet powerful design, one that has endured for decades and continues to be recognized instantly by anyone familiar with UK coins. Around the design are the words, "1 penny," and the denomination, marking its role in the decimalized currency system that Britain had adopted in 1971. But what makes the 1998 penny remarkable is not merely its design or its connection to history, but its rarity and the stories surrounding its minting. While millions of pennies were struck for circulation that year, certain rare variations, minting errors, and unique qualities make some examples extraordinarily valuable. For collectors, these differences are like secret codes, elevating what appears to be ordinary into the realm of treasures. Some 1998 pennies were struck with slight misalignments, others show unique die errors, and a few have been discovered with metal anomalies that make them one of a kind. It is in these rare instances that the true magic of numismatics reveals itself. Imagine, for a moment, a coin slipping from a minting press with a tiny flaw, unnoticed by the workers, scooped into a bag with millions of others, carried into circulation, and handed across counters countless times. To the average person, it was worth a single penny, enough to help pay for a sweet or as part of a handful of change. But to the sharp eye of a collector decades later, that small flaw transforms the coin into a priceless artifact, a rare survivor that whispers of the moment it was created. The 1998 penny carries that allure. It is not just metal, it is history, accident, rarity, and beauty all merged together. Collectors often say that every coin is a time machine, and the 1998 penny is no exception. Holding one brings back the memory of Britain in the late 90s. Children playing arcade games with coins, commuters buying newspapers with change, the sound of coins jingling in purses and wallets. But among those millions, a few special ones were destined to escape obscurity, destined to be preserved and revered. Those are the coins that collectors at HD Ultra Rare Coins seek, the ones that auctions highlight, and the ones that command astronomical sums. The fascination with such coins also comes from their place within the broader timeline of Elizabeth II's coinage. By 1998, her portrait had already changed multiple times, and within a few years, a new effigy by Ian Rank Broadley would replace Maclaugh's. That means the 1998 penny sits at a transition point, bridging eras of design. It represents not just currency, but a moment frozen in the Queen's long reign, a moment when tradition was about to give way to change. This transitional significance further heightens its appeal to collectors, for it is often at these junctures that the most sought-after rarities appear. The condition of the coin, of course, matters immensely. A 1998 penny found in circulation today is likely scratched, worn, dulled by years of handling. But those preserved in pristine mint state condition, untouched, gleaming as if just struck, are treasures. Collectors and investors pay fortunes for coins in such condition, because they are rare survivors, pristine snapshots of history as it looked at the very moment of minting. And when rarity combines with condition, the value soars. Over the years, stories have circulated of 1998 pennies fetching extraordinary sums at auctions. Some have been valued in the thousands, others in the hundreds of thousands. But among these tales, there emerges the legend of a single specimen, a coin so rare, so perfect in its condition and uniqueness, that it has stunned the numismatic world. This particular example, with flawless surfaces, a rare die variety, and impeccable provenance, has been appraised not just as a coin but as a true masterpiece of minting history. And it is this coin that has set collectors whispering about its astonishing value. Think about it, an object that was once worth a single penny, something you might have dropped on the floor and not bothered to pick up, transformed into a multi-million-dollar treasure. This is the alchemy of collecting, the way history, rarity, beauty, and human fascination combine to elevate the ordinary into the extraordinary. It is what makes coins more than money, more than metal. They become artifacts, investments, and dreams all at once. As we stand here today, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny of 1998, in its rarest and most perfect form, has achieved a valuation that almost defies belief. It is no longer a humble coin but a crown jewel of numismatics, a prize that collectors would give anything to own. And the number attached to it, the figure that turns heads and drops jaws, is staggering. For this coin, once worth a single penny, is now valued at an astonishing $24 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $24 million. A tiny piece of copper-plated steel, struck in 1998, bearing the portrait of a queen and the symbol of Parliament, has crossed the line from pocket change to priceless treasure. It is the kind of transformation that captures the imagination, that makes us look twice at the coins in our pockets and wonder, could there be another hidden gem among them? This is why the story of the 1998 penny resonates so deeply. It is a reminder that history hides in plain sight, that treasures sometimes masquerade as the ordinary, and that the pursuit of beauty and rarity can turn the simplest object into something of incomparable value. For collectors at HD Ultra Rare Coins, and for anyone who loves the magic of numismatics, it is a story worth telling again and again. A story of a queen, a country, a coin, and the miracle of discovery. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2001 is a fascinating treasure. At first glance, it may appear to be just another small copper coin, often overlooked in everyday transactions. But for those who know how to look closer, it reveals itself as a tiny artifact of British heritage, royal legacy, and craftsmanship that bridges tradition and modern minting techniques. This coin, born at the turn of the 21st century, holds a deeper allure for collectors and historians alike, and today, we will dive into its story in a way that uncovers both its simple beauty and its hidden greatness. The year 2001 was a significant moment for the United Kingdom and its monarchy. The nation stood firm under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose presence symbolized stability and continuity in a rapidly changing world. By then, Elizabeth had been on the throne for nearly half a century, guiding her people through eras of transformation, from post-war reconstruction to the dawn of the digital age. Coins like the 1 penny from 2001 were more than just pieces of currency. They were everyday reminders of the monarchy's endurance, bearing the image of a queen whose profile had become one of the most recognized in human history. When examining the 2001 1 penny, the obverse immediately commands attention with the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This was not the youthful depiction seen in earlier coins, nor the later, more mature portraits that would come with her advancing age. Instead, the 2001 penny carried the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen, designed by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley, introduced in 1998. It was a bold and realistic portrayal, presenting Elizabeth not as a distant monarch but as a real, dignified figure of authority and grace. Unlike earlier, softer depictions, Rank Broadley's design emphasized realism. Every detail of the Queen's crown, her facial lines, and her expression conveyed a humanized regality, making the coin resonate not only as currency but also as a piece of art. Around her portrait ran the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2001, which translates to, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription, a tradition across centuries of British coinage, linked this humble penny to a lineage of monarchs that stretched back through history. Turning the coin over to its reverse, we find the design that many in the United Kingdom knew well, the crown portcullis with chains. This symbol, originally associated with the Palace of Westminster, represented authority, governance, and the unity of Parliament and monarchy. The design was simple yet powerful, a gate, crowned, with chains extending outward, suggesting both strength and openness. Above it stood the word, 1 penny, a reminder of its face value, and below was the numeral 1, bold and clear. The reverse design was crafted by Christopher Ironside, a respected numismatic artist who had also designed several other denominations. His design for the penny had stood since decimalization in 1971, becoming iconic over 3 decades. For Britons in 2001, it was a familiar symbol, as recognizable as a national flag or crest. For collectors today, it is a window into an era when coinage was carefully designed to balance functionality with symbolism. From a technical perspective, the 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny was struck in copper-plated steel, a composition introduced in 1992 when the Royal Mint shifted from bronze due to rising costs of copper. This choice ensured durability, while still maintaining the traditional reddish-brown look of the penny. Each coin measured 20.3 millimeters in diameter and weighed 3.56 grams, small in size but carrying a weight of significance far beyond its face value. The edge was plain, smooth, unadorned, and functional, reminding us that the penny was designed for everyday circulation rather than decoration. Yet within its simplicity lay the beauty of thoughtful design and precision minting. The Royal Mint, with its centuries-long history of producing coins for the United Kingdom and other nations, oversaw the minting of the 2001 penny. By this time, the mint was a modern institution, blending advanced technology with traditional craftsmanship. The striking of the penny was an efficient process, producing millions of coins to fuel the economy. But for collectors, even among such vast mintages, particular specimens stand out, those with pristine condition, errors, or unique qualities that make them rare. Proof versions of the 2001 penny, struck with polished dies and specially prepared blanks, shine with exceptional clarity and detail, cherished by collectors as miniature masterpieces of minting. But what truly makes the 2001 1 penny fascinating is the world of numismatics that surrounds it. Collectors often seek out coins not only for their rarity but also for their context. A coin minted at the dawn of the new millennium holds symbolic power. It captures a moment when the world transitioned from the 20th to the 21st century. The 2001 penny is a physical link to that moment, a reminder of both continuity and change. For younger generations, it recalls childhood pocket money, vending machines, and everyday exchanges. For historians, it reflects a chapter in the story of Elizabeth II's reign. For serious numismatists, it offers the thrill of the hunt, finding high-grade specimens, proof issues, or those with minting anomalies that set them apart from the millions. Error coins are especially prized in this context. A penny struck off-center, with doubled lettering, or with an incomplete strike transforms from a common object into a rarity worth thousands. These imperfections, though unintended, become treasures for collectors. In the case of the 2001 penny, some examples with misstrikes or variations have fetched significant sums in auctions, elevating the humble coin into the realm of coveted collectibles. As years pass, coins gain more than just physical wear. They acquire stories, histories, and emotional resonance. The 2001 penny is over 2 decades old now, and for many, it is already a nostalgic object. It belongs to a pre-smartphone era, a time when coins and notes were far more central to everyday life. As digital payments increasingly dominate modern transactions, physical coins like the penny are gradually fading from circulation, making them even more appealing to collectors who recognize their eventual scarcity. What makes this coin especially captivating is how something so ordinary could hold extraordinary value. When preserved in mint condition, untouched by circulation, a 2001 Elizabeth II 1 penny transforms from small change into a significant artifact. Collectors across the globe compete for such specimens, driving up values in ways that astonish those outside the numismatic world. For them, the coin is not just a penny, it is a piece of Britain's royal, cultural, and economic story, condensed into a disc of copper-plated steel. Imagine holding this coin in your hand today. Its reddish glow might catch the light, the portrait of Elizabeth II staring back at you with quiet dignity. On the other side, the crown portcullis stands proudly, a timeless emblem of authority and governance. This is not merely metal, it is history, art, culture, and legacy all bound together in less than an inch of space. It is a coin that tells stories of monarchy, of minting, of design, of everyday lives shaped by the smallest of denominations. It is this paradox, this transformation from ordinary to extraordinary, that makes the world of coin collecting so endlessly fascinating. A penny that passed through countless hands, unnoticed and unremarkable, can, in the right form, become one of the most valuable treasures of its time. The Elizabeth II 1 penny from 2001 is one such marvel, humble in appearance, profound in meaning, and extraordinary in value. And for collectors, historians, and admirers alike, it will always remain a shining reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest worth.